I'm Noah Garcia with El Paisano News Media, and today I'm here with a very lovely woman, Dr. Irella Perez. Did I say that? I'm just here.
Perfect.
Perfect. And she's running for councilwoman in District 2. And that's great. If you want to just jump in on here, let's just talk about your background. What experience do you have that you
Okay.
say would be very beneficial towards this position?
Okay, so my name is Irella Perez and I'm candidate for Whittier City Council District 2. Thank you for the opportunity to be here.
No
I love
problem.
Rio Hondo College and I'll support the college as well. So I'm running because I'm a mom. I'm a mom of 4 and I lived in Whittier for the past 15 years. I'm a very dedicated volunteer and I'm also a cultural arts commissioner for the past 6 years as well as a Whittier City School Board member. I've been a teacher, a counselor, an assistant a principal, and an administrator for, including a college professor, for the past 25 years. But I don't like the current direction that the council is taking with our city. Whittier is it's a great city. If you live in Whittier, and you do, I
Yeah.
know you do, we love our city, and it has the charm, the Whittier charm, and the trees, and the homes, and the great businesses. We have Uptown, a great destination to be potentially greater, right? But right now, there's too much overdevelopment. High density, high rise apartments and condominiums that create high traffic and create high density and just a stress to public safety, as well as building more motels. I am not for me building more cheap motels that attract crime, as well as continue to new oil drilling in our hills. I want to preserve the Whittier charm, preserve our Whittier families, values, and that's why I'm running. Whittier is not for sale for the pockets of developers. Whittier is for the people, and the government should listen to the people and meet the needs of the residents. Uptown needs to be upgraded, the entire retail in Whittier, but I think especially right now we need to pay very close attention to our uptown area because it's a beautiful part of the city that is being neglected. That's why I'm running.
I know there's the fact that you brought up the financial situation in Whittier. A lot of people are concerned because although there needs to be money brought in with different projects and you need that revenue, but there are also other concerns from a lot of citizens on where that money is being put and what projects that are being invested in, whether or not they're the right ones.
Right. So
Now, we could talk about, I'm not going to name it, but there was a major project that was put in and people were saying it's going to be congested, it's not a great location, and that's not, I'm describing the one on Whittier Boulevard by the
Right.
school. And there's
you
this,
mean Nellis?
Yes.
Yes.
but besides that, there are other projects that we can talk about where people have the same complaints. Like maybe it's not the right place and maybe it's the wrong investment, and there's a lot of maybes and unworrying. As a councilwoman, how would you be able to discern which projects are the best to put money and effort into?
So we need to listen to our residents, and we need to keep our people in mind and what they want. And when it comes to building a city, we do have to build, but we have to do it responsibly and we have to do it smart. So the project that you're talking about specifically, well, one of the projects that you mentioned was Nellis. Today they're actually breaking ground.
Yes.
I mean, what is that? I have lost complete faith in our government. So sneaky right before the election that there's the economic part, there's so many lawsuits in our city as well that our city council has been being hit on, and our money is going there. For example, when it came to redistricting, it's part of the law, and we should have volunteered to redistrict. And the city of Whittier didn't, and the council fought it. And they fought it, knowing that there hasn't been any case that has been won by fighting it, and almost spent close to $1 million of our money that we generate, our taxpayers' money, because it is not to the convenience for them. They want to continue to support each other and stay elected. So, so the rules actually they call for those developments to be built there. So if you are a business person and let's say you want to build a 750 condominiums and apartments like there are going to be built in Nellis, then you can. If you want to build a motel in Whittier Boulevard, then absolutely you can. But what happens? People don't want it. They create high traffic, high density, potential crime, stress to public safety, and it's just not Whittier. We don't need another motel, but it says so on the plan. So the council covered their hands and they says, well, it's in the plan. We can't do anything. But sure you can, because the persons who did that plan, the Whittier specific plan, was the council that's sitting there. And that plan needs to be reviewed and that plan needs to be updated to meet the needs of Whittier and our Whittier values. So now they're facing a potential lawsuit because they, a group of residents came, and me included with my children, we went and we lobbied, we advocated, we said no more cheap motels. And the council said, they caved in, and they said, okay, fine, we'll don't build motels, but the election is now. I'm afraid, because I've lost complete trust in them. Wait till the election is finished, and they will build that motel. So that's what I put my name. I'm stepping forward, and I have to tell you, to run in Whittier, you have to be extremely courageous, and I'm a very courageous woman. I step forward, and I'm going against oil, and I'm going against developers, and I have a huge target on my back. They're developing negative mailers, shame on them, against me, friends of the council, and spending all this money to target the election process. And that's not our Whittier. So I want to see I want to keep the Whittier that we have, and I'm not for those high-rise apartments that create that high traffic and condominiums. Yes, we will build, we will, but we're going to do it responsibly, and we're going to see where we're going to be best. We need to make sure that when we build, there's enough space for families, right? To raise their kids in a green area. I'm for green and open space, not for high-rise pack and stack them when they're in your face, and there's no sense of community where you won't be able to see your neighbor because the windows are so small. I'm not for any of that.
Okay, just talking to members of the community, there seems to be two major schools of thought on the current election, which is basically the first one being that that it's not that the city council have made mistakes, it's just that Whittier is moving in a certain direction. And the other school of thought being the fact that the council has made mistakes and we need new people in there. Now, between those two, do you feel that we need to push towards a certain direction, or that we've made a lot of mistakes and need to correct
You know what?
them?
Period. We need new leadership. The council, it needs new blood. Some of the council members have been there for too long. The Whittier District 2, the council member there has been there for 36 years. How old are you?
21.
In your 20s, right? Forget it. If you want to run in Whittier, you have no chance. No one does. 36 years. I mean, I'm very proud of Whittier. I'm a very respectful woman. I like to be appreciated of those who before me, and I am. Thank you very much, but come on, it's time. 36 years. You mean to tell me that in 36 years there hasn't been no one that that can take their place as a leader? Your job is what? To build new leadership. And so for someone to hold on to and be friends of oil and be friends of developers. So I do believe that, you named two school of thoughts, one that the council is not doing well, you said, and then one that the council made mistakes. It's just time. We need new leadership. The council is too comfortable. It breeds status quo. It's very cliquish, I believe, and I want to be respectful to all the good things that they have done. I'm very proud of my Whittier, but the direction that I go knock door to door, meet our neighbors, and I constantly hear too much traffic, too much overdevelopment all at once. No more high rise. I'm not saying apartments and condominiums. No, I support that, because we need to build residence for mobility for affordable housing, but the high-rise apartments, a parking lot at the uptown when uptown is not developed. So when it comes down to building a city, you have to think of the roads, you have to think of the commerce, not just build, and plan for oil.
That is a huge issue. If there is one thing I've heard by listening to voters, it's the fact that it's not well thought out planning on building these different buildings, and just it's more about the developers trying to get money rather than thinking about the community. So I think what the voters are going to be looking for is somebody who really is able to represent their thoughts, and hopefully or if you get elected, then you'll be able to do that.
So when I get elected, I've listened to the people. I want to continue to listen to the people. I gave my entire community my cell phone. Reach me, reach out to me. Tell me. I want to know my neighbors. That's why I walk door to door. But if you think about it, developers, you can't blame developers. If you're a developer, your job is to develop and make money out of that development. But Whittier is not for sale for the pockets of developers. When you work with developers, you have to see, you have to meet the needs of the development to a certain extent, but you have to meet the needs of your people. You have to listen to your people. So when it comes, the perfect example, to build a parking lot in Uptown, well, that's a good concept, but it's too much ahead. You have to clean Uptown first, build Uptown first, revitalize Uptown, revitalize the commerce, support the commerce. Uptown can be a great potential. We can expand Uptown, but by building a parking lot is going to benefit who? I have no problem parking when I go to Uptown. And if I do, I park a little bit away and I walk. So, but we need to. I question the council's priorities right now.
Well, thank you so much for speaking with me. I really appreciate it. I'll be sure to leave her website down in the links below so you can check out what else she stands for. And just a final message here: please make sure to vote. In 2016, the last local election, 20% of eligible voters participated, and that's just unfortunate because real change starts at the local community level. So thank you so much. I'm Noah Garcia.
And I'm Irella Perez.
This has been El Paisano News Media.